Good morning. This is Alan Gregory, the director of B2B Power Alliance, speaking with Diana Needham today. How are you, Diana?
I'm great. It's a wonderful morning here in North Carolina.
And I'm here in the Washington, D.C. area. So we're going to kick it off and get started. The first thing I'd like to know is, can you tell me a little bit about your business?
Well, sure. I would consider myself a marketing strategist, and I am all about keeping it simple. You know how most of us make marketing so complicated, and then we get so confused and so frustrated that we sit down and we quit. So I'm all about keeping it simple. That's my mantra. And I work with authors and speakers on mapping out a simple marketing strategy that works for them, and one of my specialty areas is LinkedIn. What I've also discovered is that most of us are really confused about how to leverage LinkedIn because we think about it as the place for people looking for jobs.
Right.
Right? And so our profiles read like resumes, when actually LinkedIn is another web presence that we own that should read like a sales letter. So it's a little different twist. So I have an entire LinkedIn program that's webinar based that helps entrepreneurs, authors, and speakers figure out what should their profile look like so they can start attracting their ideal clients and their best referral partners.
Great. Well, you kind of spoke to the second question, which was what's your area of expertise. So we know that that's LinkedIn. So the next question is, who's your ideal customer, like the perfect person for what you do?
Well, you know what? As I was thinking about this and thinking about clients, the previous clients that I've had and the people I'm working with right now that I really love, because my background is in corporate. I spent 26 years in the banking industry. I love working with people who have left corporate either by their own decision or somebody else's. And they've started a business, and they've pretty quickly realized that marketing is not their strength, right? That they're wonderfully talented people, whether they're a chiropractor, an author, a speaker, or whatever they're an accountant, whatever it is they've decided to start their business around, but they really don't understand how to put together some simple marketing strategies and how to leverage LinkedIn. So I love working with people that have come out of the corporate space because that's my story.
Okay. So being a little bit more specific, what problems do you solve for business owners?
The biggest problem is removing the overwhelm around marketing and getting really focused about how to leverage LinkedIn. Every client that I've worked with, either their ideal client is a professional or obviously their best referral partners are professionals. Right. The social media platform where those people are is LinkedIn. And the other thing, Alan, that really surprises people is that the average income of the person on LinkedIn is $109,000. So most people are really surprised about that. And while we spend a lot of time on Twitter and Facebook and other places, if your market is professionals and you're looking for people that have an income that can afford what you have, I'm here to tell you they're on LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. So that's the problem that I solve is keeping it really simple and chunking it down into steps that people can easily follow and implement.
So speaking to that, what's your competitive advantage? Like, what do you do better than anyone else who does the exact same thing that you do?
I would say the competitive advantage to me is I serve as a mentor. Okay. I am not here to command and control. I come up alongside people and work as a mentor to sort all of the confusion out and come down to just the basic things that they need to do to get traction around their business.
Okay, so we're going to shift gears a little bit here. How do you generate leads in your business? Like, what does your marketing funnel look like?
Well, recently, a lot of my marketing funnel has been around referral, and it's been around partnership, which is why I'm here, in the Alliance. I recently launched a program called the LinkedIn Leverage Formula, and the majority of folks that came through that program came because of partnerships. Webinar-based, I did a lot of webinars. I was invited to speak to the communities of several of my colleagues and my peers, and that is how I filled my program. So referrals, partnerships, word of mouth. Obviously, actually have two websites. I have a personal website that's branded with my name, and I also own linkedsmallbusiness.com, and there are funnels built in terms of email and follow-up built with both of those websites.
Great. Well, what's your ideal cross promo look like for you right now? Like, would it be a webinar to someone's list that's in the alliance? Would you want to co-produce a small product? Like, what's the ideal cross promo for you right now?
You know, it was great yesterday when we were doing some training with JP, and what the number one thing that I would love to do is figure out who in the alliance has clients who their ideal clients is LinkedIn, right, and sponsor a webinar. I already have a webinar already put together for this program, and I would love to do that. I guess that would be the first thing for me, is to figure out who in the group has a clientele that would be interested in this topic, that would be willing to host a webinar. Now, there are all sorts of other things that we could do.
Right.
We could do cross promotion. I have a free report, a special report around LinkedIn that could go on a thank you page. There's all sorts of things that we could do, but right now I think the most immediate return for me would be figuring out who in the group would has a clientele that would gain value. I'm all about bringing value to the table. Who do we have that could gain great value from learning how to leverage LinkedIn?
Well, I can tell you that from doing the Hangouts with each member and also the virtual event that we have coming up, I'm going to be putting together a lot of that information so that, you don't have to go mining for it, because that's really what we want. We want people to do deals together, because that's the whole purpose of the Alliance to begin with.
Right.
Right. You also mentioned this, but I kind of want to ask it again. So the passive cross-marketing, like what would that look like for you? So like you said, exchanging thank you pages, or maybe swap a guest blog, or something that's passive, not necessarily active like the webinars. In terms of cross-marketing.
Yeah, we could also, and I love this idea we talked about yesterday, is putting together a product of some sort, right? So looking at, maybe we can look at the different folks that have something to do with social media. We could put something together around that. We could put something together around some basic marketing strategy that would fit together. So I'm open to however we want to partner together, and that would be awesome. The great thing is, I'm already familiar with webinars. I put together products. I've put together programs. I do video. So it would be easy for me to plug myself into whatever strategy we decide as a group makes sense for us.
Okay. So we're going to shift gears just again. Tell us why you're excited to be a part of the Alliance.
Well, the biggest benefit here is with expanding my reach, right? Being able to get out and help more people. And the value of having these what I will call power partnerships, right? Because we're all here to support each other, to help each other, to grow our businesses, and to share ideas and information. So I'm here really to bring my talents, my gifts to the group, and to leverage those partnerships and whatever makes sense to help each other grow our businesses.
And a similar question to that is, what value do you believe you'll be able to contribute to the Alliance and your fellow members? Being a little more specific.
Well, it really comes down to, brainstorming ideas and coming up with the right solution for everybody's market. Right? Everybody comes to the table with a list, a community, and figuring out what is the right approach for both partners involved. Or if we're doing a group, what is the right approach? What is going to get us the most benefit for everybody involved?
Now, this question that I ask here, I usually ask it at the end because it's the most important question for me. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got started? You can go back to elementary school, you can go back to college, you can go back to high school, go back as far as you want.
Okay, well, it's funny that you asked that, because I was recently on a telesummit. I've done a lot of telesummits in the last 6 months or so too, and when I was putting together my bio for that, I went back to my life in corporate. And I just said I spent 26 years in banking, and I was with Chase. And I actually left as a result of a merger. So when you have two big banking organizations that come together, there's always a lot of job elimination. Right. What I loved the most about my career at Chase was working with people. mean, I was always interested in knowing where my staff and where their teams wanted to go next. And if they knew, then I was looking for projects and assignments and committee, things I could get them involved in to get them the skill that would get them to the job that they wanted. So when I was downsized out of corporate, I said, what did I love the most? It was about working with people. And that's when I embarked on my coach training. I have 3 coach certifications, and the people that showed up were small business owners that needed help with marketing. So, I've loved the way that this path has unfolded, but that's kind of how I got here. When you leave corporate, and this kind of goes back to your question about who's my ideal client. Mm-hmm. When you leave corporate, you say to yourself, I am talented. I did all of these things. When I came into Chase, I came in as an hourly research person. And I left as the vice president in charge of the program office for the entire retail bank of Chase. Right? So in the span of 26 years, a lot of things happened. I had a lot of opportunities. So you think, well, I was bright. I was smart. I got all these promotions. I did everything they told me to do. I worked 60-hour weeks. I got on the corporate plane. I was when we were buying banks. I was doing all the stuff. But boy, I tell you, after you're in business for about a year and you realize, oh my gosh, I got to go market this thing.
Right.
Right, and I got to go. That is not a skill I have. Right. I
was just going to say a lot of people that start out in this arena, they think that they can just do it and people are just going to come to them. But if you don't market, nobody knows what you're doing.
Right. Actually, and that is your job. Your job is not delivering the service. Your job is finding clients. Right, and building your business. And so my experience in corporate, I know this because it's my story, is that we struggle because we don't know, and then when we start plugging into all these marketing ideas, you get on everybody's list and you got all the stuff coming at you, you quickly become overwhelmed, you become confused, and you throw up your hands, and then you're thinking, oh my gosh, I may have to go get a job. Oh my gosh, I haven't had a job for like 3 years. Who's going to hire me? You go into that little spin. And so my whole calling here really is to help people, entrepreneurs, sort out all of the marketing chaos and bring it down to just a few simple things that they can do to grow their business, and they can actually sleep at night knowing that they've got some revenue coming in.
That's going to be really important. So now the last question here, I just want to know, how can we find out more about you and what you do? Like, give us your websites, your email, phone number, all that good stuff.
Okay, great. Well, my LinkedIn website is linkedsmallbusiness.com, LINKED, smallbusiness.com. That's where my free report is around LinkedIn, all the things that have to do with LinkedIn. I also have a website that's my name, so it's Diana M as in marketing, Diana M, Needham.com. That is where my blog is. That's the general marketing information. My webinars, I am running right now, and something you don't know, I have been hosting a webinar series called Marketing Simplicity. Yes. Because, again, I'm all about simple. And so I have guests come on and share their brilliance, and then they have an offer at the end to come to their website and get their free, whatever their free gift is, right? So all of those are recorded, and they are a free resource on my website right now. That's dianamneedham.com, and there's a tab at the top that says Marketing Simplicity Webinar Series, and it's amazing information. I started it at the first of the year. And as part of the Alliance, I'd love to, that's an idea, and actually I haven't even talked to JP about it, to figure out who would like to be a guest, and let's get this webinar piece rolling.
That is an awesome way to get started and kick things off with the Alliance. Okay, so everybody, thank you for spending time with us today. Diana, I'm thanking you. We did spend a decent amount of time here, and I learned a lot about your business. I'm very happy about that. And you guys can find out more about her at dianamneedham.com. And that's it for today. We'll talk later. Bye-bye.